It's that boy Fred, host of FanvVew podcast. Tune into the NOTN app, weekdays, 3:30 for the FanvVew podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanvVew podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Hey, what's going on, man? This is O'Brian Calahan. I am OBE. I'm also the servant leader to Forever Young Foundation, which is a nonprofit, and I'm the visionary to Only Basketball Elite, and you're watching FanView podcast. That's the era. That's the era, though, bro. Like, and that's why that's one thing I love about FanView, man. Y'all bring the people in here, the Bo McCaleb, man. Like, y'all bring everybody, Rory, like y'all done brought some legends through here, bro. Yeah. Like real talk, Louisiana legends. That's what it should be called, like the
Welcome back. Another edition of FanView podcast. Y'all know who it is. I'm that boy Fred. Listen, I got another special guest with y'all. Listen, FanView podcast. Get locked in. If you on FanView podcast, if you on YouTube, FanView podcast, if you on IG, FanView podcast, if you on TikTok, FanView podcast, if you on Facebook. It's still a FanView NOLA if you on SX. We're no longer Twitter. But I have another special guest with me, y'all. Listen, this is the visionary or OBE.
Come on,
Only
man. Basketball
Elite. He's the founder of the Forever Young Foundation. Give a round of applause for O'Brian Calahan. Listen, first thank you for coming to the episode, fellowshipping with us, man. It's been a long time coming.
Come on.
We've been trying to put this together for some time now.
Yeah.
But we are here.
We're here.
Let the audience know, man, who you are, and let the audience know how you can follow you, man.
Already, man. I appreciate you. Let me say that first and foremost. I want to give you your flowers. I done went to the flower shop just to bring them down here to you. So everybody that's watching this, if you hadn't followed, if you hadn't liked, if you hadn't subscribed, if you're a true Louisiana historian, you need to be watching this. I'm telling you, this is all the smoke mixed with the Gills Arena to no bias, and they giving facts. It's the barbershop, so we're going to give it to y'all. But like my man Fred said, hey, I am OBE. I would like to call myself a servant because I work for OBE. I work for the Forever Young Foundation, which is my nonprofit. And I work for you, the people of Louisiana. I'm here, and that's why, hey, we're going to build Louisiana up together, man. And I'm here with FanView to do that. You heard me?
Y'all already know what it is. But listen, we all like to start our podcast off right, man. Each and every guest, man, we get into their story, their journey. Let's talk about you and your journey, your story, about how you got into basketball, man, and how you got into, wanting to create a foundation and your journey with basketball and how it led you to be, want to create OBE and create, the Forever Young Foundation. Let's talk about your journey. Let's go back.
Ooh, let's go back.
Let's talk about your journey into basketball. What made you want to fall in love with basketball?
Man, this little old town called Jonesboro Hud. Shout out to the foes. We gotta talk about them foes.
Yeah,
so shout out to the foe. But Jonesboro Hud is where I was born and raised. That's in Northeast Louisiana, 15 minutes south of Grambling. Maybe less than that. Now we got 167.
Right.
So, man, one of my best friends, Utavius Qualls, man, I was at my dad's house in Hudge, and he was going to a basketball game. They got these little league games at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he had his basketball, had his little jerseys and stuff, and him and his mom in a little Ford Cavalier, and they headed out on me. I'm like, man, where they going? So next Saturday come around, they about to head out, but I'm like, hey, hold on.
I got a seat. Yeah,
right.
I gotta get there.
So that's when I went, and it was to see the kids my age, because I had been going to the gym with my dad, my stepdad, but he's like my real dad.
Right.
So I had been going to the gym on Sundays with him, and it would be grown men though. I'm 6 and 7, and it's the grown men.
Right.
But when I went with him and saw the little kids, I'm like, yeah, I could do this. And he was popular too, so he had like everybody respected his game. He put in work. So I had the best next door to me in that street that we lived on. Shout out to Bethune. Man, we had some fire, bro. Some fire. And I was a young pup.
So you graduated from Jonesboro Hodge.
Mm-hmm.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated 2003.
See, that's the class.
Yeah,
that's the
you
class,
know
y'all. That's the class, y'all.
03,
Class
baby.
of 03. I
Yeah.
graduated from Higgins in 03. Matter of fact, my co-host G Sports graduated in 03. For HL Bourgeois, my co-host Coach Hurricane Hen graduated 03 with me and Higgins. 03 the class.
That's it.
I be trying to tell people all the time. Class of LeBron James graduated in 2003.
Hey, boy.
Chris Paul graduated in
Come on.
2003.
Come on.
Listen, 03 is the class.
Yeah, all of that.
It is what it is. Greatness has come from that class, man. Everyone's still trying to live up to expectations. Everybody, playing second place.
They can't. It really can't. If it ain't in 03, you can't.
But somebody else graduated in the class of 03, Mr. Louisiana, Paul Millsaps.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Basketball.
Yes, indeed.
But talk about a lot about your relationship. You graduated in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about your relationship. You expressed a lot on your online about your relationship with Paul Millsaps. How did y'all meet? How did y'all get engaged? And how did y'all become friends? Let's talk about him and his time with y'all friendship.
So the relationship that me and Paul had, it started in, I would say, ninth grade, around ninth grade, right? So the AAU scene right now, it ain't like what it used to be.
Let's talk about it.
Man,
Run it. Talk about it.
Listen,
Let's talk about it.
the AAU scene now, and again, I believe in competition, right?
Right.
But I feel, well, I'm gonna just tell you about my scenario. When I 03, when I was in the ninth grade,
Right.
I had to be invited.
Yeah.
I had to be invited to an AAU team, and in that invitation, the person who was driving me like, "Hey, you better go hard because if you don't, you might not get picked up." It ain't I didn't have to pay or nothing. It was just a tryout. And then in that tryout, shout out to Coach Pipes in Monroe, the Dream Team, the original Dream Team in Monroe. I actually had to play against Brandon Landers. They go by Munt. He was the quarterback for Grambling. And I had another guy, Johnny Hodge, which is unknown legend in Monroe on the south side. Okay. Shout out to Jackson Street. But he put me in front of them, and I had to break it out. Like, I had to do my thing. And so I was allowed to make that team. But in that same instance, on making that team, again, I'm not knocking competition. I met another good friend of mine who I love dearly and became a brother to me, right? Mm-hmm. So whenever I was 8th grade transitioning to the 9th grade, we had a coach named Coach Hartwell at the high school. And Coach Hartwell, he coached at Washington Marion too in Lake Charles.
Okay.
So he's a legend. Like, go ask somebody, that man in the lake. But I would always do stuff tight, right? Because remember, them kids that I grew up with on that street, they were older than me. Right. So when they were in high school and I'm coming into high school, I'm playing with them. He tell me as an 8th grader to start taking the bus from junior high to the high school. Mm-hmm. So I'm playing with these older kids, but to me, they friends. I already know certain tactics, right? So everything I would do for it, like throw that pass, no looks, like, oh, that's nice, but Jay would have did this. I'm like, man, Jay. I would come down and dunk, boom. Man, that was a power layup. Jay would have slammed it. Man, who is Jay?
Who is Jay?
Like, that's what I want to know. Who is Jay? So that's why I'm telling you about competition. So once I got to that AAU team to try it, we all standing around, and before I knew who he was. He shoot, I shoot. I make mine, he make his. He do a move and make a shot, I do a move, hit my shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, we going against each other without even knowing. And so whenever coach got us in the circle, and he was like, all right, let's break up teams. All right, OB, you over here, and Jay, you over here. You, Jay Jackson. I've been hearing about it, like, in my mind.
I've been hearing about you for some time now.
I got to see.
You're a target. You're a bullseye.
You are. So that's what I mean. Like, once I made that dream team, it was you only grab players from certain areas that was good. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no, hey, if I fall off and my uncle, you mind coaching me and my partners? And no, it wasn't like that, bro. Like that. And it wasn't that many tournaments. You had the Boo Williams, you had the Peach Jam, you had the Kingswood Classic, you had Vegas Big Time tournament. It was only like 4 or 5.
I remember the Boo Williams tournament.
Yeah, like it was big name tournaments, but for the most part, we were able to be developed. We had practice. I used to go weekends and spend in Monroe practicing, and we became a family. We went to the movies.
Right.
We were doing those things. So that was my first AAU team. My second one was with Theus, Coach Theus out of Shreveport. It's now the Paul Millsap team.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother lived in Shreveport. So me and James Livingston, shout out to Rustin, Big Rustin.
Shout out my boy, shout out to him.
Me and James Livingston and Paul Millsap, we were all tight, man. We were all from that area. We were tight. But then it just started. James, I don't know what happened with James. I think he was playing football as well, I want to say. But so it was me and Paul. We used to go over there. And even on that team, they had Troy Aaron, Dwight Boatner. Man, all these boys got big D1s, you know what I'm saying? And it was just me and Paul. And he used to stay with me and my grandma. And my grandma, like I say, man, it's a lovely lady, rest her soul. But I got mad at my grandma one morning, bro. I'm laying up. And Paul done got up before me, and she got them biscuits, them homemade biscuits. And boy, Paul done ate that biscuit in the middle. And I'm like, Nene, what my biscuits? She's like, oh, baby, Paul got that. Like, what? My biscuit, Nene?
What my biscuit?
Yeah, man. But we grew from that point, and then it got to the point when Coach Theus, we had a rival. We always had a rival. Grambling versus Jonesboro. That was our rivalry, right? I'm talking about where you sitting like this and you on the court. The referee got to ask you to, hey, move back.
Move back.
So it was Paul's senior year, our senior year. And Antonio Hudson. You remember Hut?
I remember
from
his
LSU?
name. LSU.
Yeah, he's the Lincoln Prep coach now, man. But Hut, he had came to the gym.
You in Lincoln Prep?
Yeah, he had Lincoln Prep. He's the coach right now. He had came home, and this is that time when LSU had beat Kentucky. I think Hut was it Tayshaun? They might have had Tayshaun Prince when they had won so many games, and they went to Kentucky and beat them. So now he was that guy. So he in the gym, and the gym had a backdrop to where like it was an old graduation stage, them old gyms. So he's sitting there, got all this LSU stuff on, bro. I'm talking about all his LSU stuff on. And he coming in the gym, and he went to Grambling. I played against him, and he telling me about the first quarter and a half, I'm off, bro. Like, real talk. I think I got like maybe 5 points or something. And he's like, OB, I'm shooting a free throw. OB, man, why do I want to listen to him? This is school.
This is school.
Hey, just slow down. Let the game come to you.
Why you tell me that? Cool. I got you.
Hey.
It's on now.
I listen.
It's on now.
I listen. I think I finished with maybe like 36 that game.
Ooh.
But Paul had like 40, 41.
Good Lord.
And he dunked on me. I'm talking about a spin dunk, monkey dunk that thing. The crowd went wild.
That's when high school basketball in the state of Louisiana. I tell people all the time, listen, football is always a state. Louisiana is always a state of football. Like, I think football is going to always come king. But back in those early 2000 years, man, like I can remember guys like, Bo Lester.
Come on.
I remember guys like Chris Duhon.
Okay.
Brandon Bass.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just talking about early 2000s. I mean, Taz came like in 05.
Okay.
I mean, down here, Jason Williams went to Higgins. I mean, I could name off some guys. And we was like, Hollis Price. I'm like, dog, we had some guys that was taking Louisiana basketball.
Quanis, come on, man.
Quanis.
Well, shout out to that Quanis. Hey, yeah.
Quanis.
That's
that was taking basketball to
the next level.
Yeah, we're like, man, I won't be like him.
Hey, listen, I'm all right, so that same neighborhood, East Hudge, I remember coming up, man, on Sundays, the park, right? The park would be so crunk. Gerald Honeycutt, who played at Tulane, he had the big old Suburban. He pull up with the Bourbon. Scotty Thurman, the rifle, as they call it in Arkansas, the one that hit the shot.
Yeah.
I was watching that on my basketball, sitting on my basketball as a little boy, watching greatness. And, so I didn't have no choice. Like, I saw that every Sunday at the park, man. Like, I was like, I know it. I'm like, and I was just waiting. And that's what I'm telling you kids, man. If y'all listen to this, please, man, go and play ball, live ball, eat ball. Like, a lot of y'all don't even know who the top player in y'all class. Like, like I asked a kid, like, man, who number one right now in your class in the state? I don't know.
They're delusional. They have no idea. They have no idea. Like, I don't know. What you mean? So how can you gauge your game?
Okay.
And how can you compare your game?
Okay.
If you don't know who you're comparing it to? And a lot of kids today just think that, well, it's just about me. No, reality is you're being compared to somebody.
Facts.
That's the reality.
Facts.
We got kids believing that opportunity is just for them. No, they're comparing it to something. They have to. This is how they're going to gauge if you are D1 or you're not D1. Can you play here or can you play here?
Right.
How do you think they get this information? They have to gauge. So as a kid, you need to know who that kid is.
Right.
Who that kid in that state is. It's him. Okay.
Right.
Does he play my position? Yeah. Okay. Well, he got to see me.
Right. That's it. And that's my thing right there. The competition, like, everybody is not going to be a scorer, right?
Right.
Like, and even the scorers, whenever you scoring, when you get to college to the next level, you might not
be a scorer here.
Right. But I always teach the kids energy and effort. Because you cannot let that, like, it's no substitute. Like, I might have a bad pass, a bad shot, but you're not going to hustle me. My effort going to be, you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Like,
the play ain't over.
It's never over.
It's not over. It's not like in other sports. Like, basketball is such a unique sport to where, like sometimes, I'm not saying like football, right? But if you throw a bad pass and somebody makes an interception and it goes out of bounds, the play is dead. But in basketball, somebody get a turnover and they keep going out the side of the field. You got to keep going.
Got to go.
You don't know what something is unique about basketball, and this is in all, especially team sports, with momentum. You don't know what play you about to create.
A shift.
Right? That can shift this game.
A 5-point swing just like that. Just
boom,
like
boom.
that.
And so you don't know if you can go out here or that he going to have a layup. How you know that? You go out there. What if he misses?
LeBron James that thing. Come on, man.
LeBron is perfect. Perfect example with Iguodala. It's a layup, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Right.
No, it's not.
Shout out to Bron.
Shout out to Bron.
Shout out to Bron, my Deuce family, Uncle Phil. Like, yeah, shout out to them boys.
Shout out to Bron, first and foremost. Shout out to Bron for being the only player to make All NBA. First of all, All NBA as a 20-year-old and All NBA as a 39-year-old.
Hey, bro, Phil put that up. I just shared that.
How?
Like, he had put that up, and Bron reshared it because people don't understand how great this dude is. You know what I'm saying? 20 years old, he was the youngest, and now he the oldest.
Boy, listen to me.
03, that's an 03 product, though.
03 product.
That's an 03 product, bro.
Shout out to 03. Shout out to class 03. Y'all still trying to compete.
Yeah.
I don't think people really realize how much of an achievement that is.
Facts.
He's playing in the NBA. Or it's elite. Listen to me, homie. This is the best group of basketball players in the world.
Right.
And for him to be at age 39 to still make an all NBA team, it's absurd. It's absurd.
And to follow you off on that, Fred, so the whole thing, I am OBE, it's a real thing, but it's blended in with my nonprofit, and it's it's about character, it's about integrity, it's about hard work, it's about those little things that people are kind of getting away from.
Yeah.
And the main point, like, as far as LeBron and the things that he's doing, man, because, like, for a long time I ran from training. I'm down here in South Louisiana. Don't nobody really know me.
Right.
Now in North Louisiana, I got a son, right? Shout out to OBJ. But my little boy, Lil O, when he started playing ball, I was working offshore.
Right.
So when I came back, I wanted to make sure his coach was somebody that I could trust, because I don't want my boy coming up from the hip. Nah, we going to shoot it right. Elbow wide, leave it hanging, cookie jar, all of that good stuff. And the main thing for me was those fundamentals. Cause I don't care about right now. Like I know what it takes. Like I've been there. So I definitely understand. But a lot of the kids, they don't know me. They was like, and I'm trying to help them out and show them. They're like, man, who are you? I'm like, I'm OB. OB? Who is OB? And so when I started to, train, that's what I went with. Like, I am OBE, right?
Right.
Because I'll give you a quick story, man. Shout out to Fast Break ENT. They do this All-Star game, and me and one of my friends, we went to this All-Star game, and I'm looking down, and I could see, from a distance. I'm looking at the judges on the dunk contest. Shout out to Keon too, my dog Keon with the Bills now. He was in the dunk.
Keon.
Hey, Keon a dog, bro.
Boy, what?
A dog.
Opelousas stand up.
Hey, Opelousas.
Fool.
Ooh.
Athletes.
Hey.
Opelousas stand up.
Man, Keon, if you watching this, bro, you need to come on to FanView and tell your story, because you was the dog with basketball, bro. I tried. I say, man, look, make sure you stay playing ball. It's like, yeah, man, I don't know what is, I don't know.
He's an amazing athlete, but to his credit, in basketball, you could be an amazing athlete, but sometimes your advantage is not an advantage in basketball. He's amazing athleticism, being the height he is.
Yeah.
In basketball, that's just not an advantage.
Yeah.
Because it's such a game of skill, right? Like, he may have the physical attributes, but being 6 foot and 6'1" is not, with all these gifts, is not an advantage in basketball. It's an advantage in football.
Like,
I've seen some amazing athletes play basketball, and I'm like, he's 6'1". That's not an advantage in basketball. They got 6'6" guys out here, 6'7", who can do. They don't have to be the athlete he is, but if they got a better skill set and they're a portion of the athlete he is, he gonna look better.
Right.
It's just what it is. It's nothing against Keon Coleman, just that his physical. In football, I was having this conversation with somebody because Austin Rivers made the comment about how many basketball players can be a football player and how many football players can't play basketball. I'm talking about NBA and NFL. And I tell people all the time, at the NFL level, you have to be a very good athlete.
Right.
Extremely good athlete. It doesn't matter if it's special teams. You have to be a great athlete because of how the game is played. In basketball, you have to be a very good athlete, but you really got to be skillful. Your skill.
And
like into that point, is I tell people to estimate. This is how I gauge it. I've seen many athletes start football at a older teenage years and become successful at the college and potentially pro basketball, whether it's NBA or not.
Right.
That ain't the case for basketball. You're not starting this at 17.
Well, you got Joel Embiid.
You got one anomaly
out
of 1,000 players.
Right.
You're generally going to start basketball to be great. You're going to start at a younger age because the skill has to develop. You're not going to start at 17. Like, I play football old. I'm going to just start playing basketball at 17. You're not about to play basketball. You're not about to be great. All your measurables that makes you great will have to add up. Joel Embiid is a tall player that has the physical attributes. But you're not going to be 6'2" now. I'm going to just start playing basketball at 17. You're not playing basketball at all.
Right.
You're not playing basketball at all. You go back to the football field.
Right.
So I think when he was making that comparison at times, I think he was trying to say that a kid who with the athleticism in basketball, because he's 6'5", 6'6", that don't mean he's going to be a receiver or a tight end or whatever. He just saying that he probably could transition because guys at later years can pick this game up because the coaching.
Right.
You can't pick up the skill in the coaching. They're not gonna have the patience for you if you can't shoot.
Right.
You can't dribble. Like that. There's so many fundamentals that you have to learn.
Yeah.
And you gotta learn that at a younger age and time. They don't have time to pick this up. In football, you could pick this stuff up in your late teenage years. They can still teach you because you still have athleticism to convert.
Right.
Boy, that's not gonna work in basketball. You watch Kyrie Irving, ball skill.
And that goes back to the AAU stuff. Where we're talking with the AAU, man. Because I know for a fact, like you said, with that development, a lot of these kids, again, I'm not knocking the AAU system, but you have great trainers who's played the game at an elite level that can help develop you. I'm not teaching no kid how to do a Euro when you can't make a left-hand layup 5 times in a row.
Why?
You know, that's the thing. Like, they see the Steph Currys, but when I tell them to do form shooting, elbow, like I teach that, they don't understand. Steph was doing this with his dad years, and his dad didn't allow him to shoot for a certain distance. You got to make so many in this area. That was building confidence. They want to skip the step, bro. And again, I love social media. I believe it's like a brick, right? You could take a brick and you could throw it and you could bust this window, or you could also take a brick and you can build this. You could build something for protection.
Right.
So that's with social media. But when they see certain things, they don't understand it's a process.
Right.
And with that process, that was one of my things. So that's the story that I tell these kids when they get to asking, who are you? I tell them I'm not all Northeast, all district MVP, East and West All-Star game. I give my accolades to let them know I know what it takes to get to that point. And if I wasn't, God, thank you, Lord. The Lord knocked me off a pedestal, because when Paul used to call and tell me, hey, B, let's go work out. His uncle was a assistant coach at Tech. And then Coach Lyons, he was one of them coach legendary. Shout out to Coach Lyons and Grambling and Coach Hawkins in Southern Lab. Them boys every year clash. But Paul would have access. And I'm just getting, like, I've been out all night. You know, I feel like everything I've done and got me to this point, they got to catch up.
Right.
But I didn't keep working. Paul kept working. So when he got all rebound every year, his freshman, sophomore, junior
year.
Bruh, they knew about him. Like you said, they had to compare him. Who they call Malone.
Come along.
So guess what Utah did? We'll take him.
Second round, 47 pick.
We know the
2006 NBA draft class.
All right. Hey, 20 years later.
20 years later, full-time All-Star.
Man, shout out my dog, Paul, man.
Full-time All-Star. I mean, he played with the Jazz maybe 7 or 8 years, but his real prime years were in Atlanta.
Come on,
when
man.
When he made the All-Star 4 consecutive times. When he was down there with him,
come on, man.
Kyle Korver. They
had that Schneider.
ISO.
Who else they had with them, bro? When I tell you, like,
Atlanta was favored to. They had him, Kyle Korver, Joe Johnson,
ISO. I forgot about ISO.
How did I forget about ISO? Like that.
How did I forget about ISO? Like that. Hey, shout out to Arkansas, man.
Yes.
Arkansas,
yes.
Little Rock. Hey,
Little Rock.
They got some dogs, man. I got a pod in the dog house in Arkansas.
Figure out who ISO physical trainer is. You know, ISO still got a physique.
He's
ISO is like the terror on with the basketball.
Yeah.
Listen,
facts.
No homo.
Facts.
But
that's still
pause,
tough.
by the way. But the thing is, his body is like, I'm like, I don't know who training him. But ISO gets got a body.
Yes, indeed.
But those Atlanta teams with Kyle Korver and him and ISO, I think Jeff T could have been on that team too.
Yeah, T was on there. He was.
Josh, I don't know if Josh
Smith
was still there at the time. I don't know if he was gone or not. I know Josh came out of high school.
He Atlanta product.
Yeah, he Atlanta product. Yeah, he came out of high school.
Product. Yeah,
I know he was with the Hawks for a good bit of time. I don't know if he was there when Millsaps was there, but that was a group.
Yeah, man,
it was contenders.
It was, bro. Like,
but people sleep on Millsaps, and people think like you got kids today who gonna say, man, who Paul Millsap is? And I'm gonna look at them strange, like
weird.
Who?
Hey, weird. Hey, that's the era. That's the era though, bro. Like, and that's one thing I love about Fanview, man. Y'all bring the people in here, the Bo McCalebs, man. Like, y'all bring everybody, Rory. Like, y'all done brought some legends through here, bro.
Yeah.
Like, real talk, Louisiana legends. That's what it should be called. Like the man, y'all done brought. So
listen,
that's
when it comes down to Louisiana, and it's not just about Louisiana, by the way.
Yeah,
but
right.
However, we are in right here in New Orleans, and we want to give credit. We want to hear the stories of some of the guys who we watched and played this game, whether it's football, basketball, and baseball, and guys who are recognized as some of the top players that come through the state. I mean, we started this thing off, interviewing Pokey Chapman.
Come on.
Episode 1.
Come on.
Pokey Chapman.
Come on, man.
And so, I mean, episode 2, we talking about Jimmy Chase, Jamar Chase's father.
Come on, that's the dad. That's what I was about to say. The daddy.
The dad.
Let's talk about the dad.
Like, I want to come do an episode with you guys.
Yeah.
We're talking about after that, Marlon Favorite, who was #1 D tackle in the country in 2004, that commits to LSU, wins a national championship.
Talk that
Robbie
talk.
Green.
Talk
Talk
that
about
talk.
DTP Nola, man. If
Come
you're trying
on,
to get
keep
trained,
going. Keep going.
listen, I can't help you if you underneath the rock.
Man, go back and make sure you subscribe first, but then go back and check out all them episodes. Because when you see that coach for Newman on the sideline, y'all don't understand who Randy
Livingston is.
Randy was really that. If he wouldn't have got hurt,
He was him.
and he giving jewels. He talked about LSU.
Yes.
Let me give you a quick story about Randy, man. Randy didn't even know me like that. The first time we met, like, he didn't really know me like that. But I was a Nike camp director, and I reached out to Randy. They was having tryouts, and I told him, I said, man, I want to come down and help you train. He was like, what's your name? I told him my name. He was like, oh, I think I heard of you. You know what? Come on down.
Mm-hmm.
Just come down and help. You know what I'm saying? Like, the door has always been open, man. And every time I see him, we catch up. Man, he support the brand. He be wearing the gear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's a legend though, bro. And I think kids, when they be looking at him like, who is Rent? Like, man, y'all need to go.
But here's what I want to talk to you about.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yes. How important it is for kids now, middle school, high school, to get training. Because I can remember, I ain't gonna lie, training was not accessible or available my earlier 2000 years. You had some kids who could train, but they were basically going a bunch of circuit ball.
Mm-hmm.
How important it is for you to see kids now get training and development in those middle school and high school years on basketball?
Man, very vital. Just like you got done saying, as far as the development, I'm old school. I'm gonna teach the game in a different way. I'm gonna see where your weakness at, and I'm gonna make sure I strengthen that. But I'm also gonna add to your strength as well. So whenever we working on your weakness and you get discouraged and start to get mad, I'll add some of your strengths in there and help build that confidence back up. But I'm not about to do all these IG drills. And again, I ain't got nothing against that, but I'm giving you game-like situation. I'm gonna make sure when you come off that screen, your feet right. And when you miss a shot, you telling on yourself. If your hand go that way, you know why people off right. I'm over here. But if I hit it right here, it's money. You can put that in the pot. But I think, like you said, when we were coming up, we might have had one or two people that was kind of doing it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's always been about the kid. Like, I really want to see good ball. When I go out, I want to see good ball. I want to go to any game around here and see good basketball. That's it.
I think that when it comes to the game, man, I think a lot of kids, they are caught up and captured in how things are advertised to them socially, on social media. They see the sides, they see the reels, they're highlighting whether it's Steph Curry or Klay Thompson or the next great shooter, right?
Right.
Or the next great dunker, right? Guy who has great athleticism, right? It doesn't really matter who they're watching, but they don't get a chance to really watch the time and the dues and the investments that they had to put in to become this person. They have no idea. And then I'm catching kids now, they're not studying, I'm going to just say it, they're not studying role players.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm watching kids play, right, there's some key role players on every team in the league.
Very.
Right? Or even college basketball. There's some key role guys, right? And no one's studying these guys because, truth be told, nobody wants to be that guy.
Right.
Nobody wants to feel like their game is limited to being that guy. We're watching the NBA playoffs right now. Najee Reed is the sixth man. Shout out to Naj. Shout out to Naj. Right?
LSU product.
Exactly. But a lot of kids right now are not studying his game. Why? Because they don't want to be that in their mind. I wouldn't want to be a sixth man. I would not want to come off the bench. I would not want to play just 20 minutes in the NBA. Not realizing that he's a double-double walk, and there's so many things that you can learn from a guy like that game.
One of the main things, like me, and I'm a historian, I watch players. So coming up to watch, Rod Strickland was one of my best.
Yes.
I love the way he maneuvered that ball. His crossover was so deadly.
He's still one of the best ball hands I've seen.
And then after him, my favorite is Jamal Crawford. JC, sixth man of the year. Like JC, bruh, I can't, got work. But to your fact, as far as the fundamentals and being a role player, I ain't gonna call him a role player because he is a superstar, but Chris Paul, man, I'm a Chris Paul middle school combine coach too, right? So when I go to his combine and I'm watching, when they bring in all these trainers and stuff, they work on those fundamentals, and that's important. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're gonna have fun, you're gonna scrimmage, but you're gonna work on those fundamentals. And that's like I have a middle school combine coming up here in October.
Right.
Again, the same format as the Chris Paul middle school combine. So if you don't have opportunity to go there, I want to bring it to Louisiana. I want to make sure I bring the light, shine that light. I'm gonna bring some people in, media that's gonna come in. We're gonna do their verts, their wingspan, all of those things. So y'all can go sign up on onlybasketballelite.com or OBE middle school combine. But that's the opportunity for me to make sure, okay, let's get these fundamentals. I'm going to have trainers there, good coaches that I know they're going to make them teach them how to box out, not just stand there like, bro, touch somebody. You know what I'm saying? All of those are the little things that make a lot of things happen. Now, those are the little things.
Got a question for you. Are you noticing that it's getting better to train women's or men's?
Ooh.
I'm taking it here. We here.
Ooh, see, hey, that's why you gotta love it. Hey, what?
Because here's why we've been watching women's basketball for the past couple seasons and talking about college basketball and in WNBA too. It's the product and the basketball has gotten better. So who is it getting easier to train? Is it easier to train the women now, or is it something to train some of these guys?
Man, I'm gonna just throw some names out real quick, man. Jelani Guy in Iowa, Anila Parker in Florida, Brianna Crittenton in Colorado, Marlo Brooklyn Charlo in Colorado as well. I train. To answer your question, I ain't gonna beat around the bush. To answer your question, I prefer females. I really do. Shout out to rest in peace first to Kobe. Shout out to Phil Handy. Him and Kobe, they started this thing called Sweat 94. And he keeps it alive. And so I've had the pleasure to go out there in LA and work with Phil, and he brings the best of the best in, man. I'm talking.
If people don't know Coach Phil Handy is, he's former Laker. I'm gonna say now former.
Yeah,
he's a longtime Laker assistant coach.
Right.
And now obviously with the firing of Darvin Hammond, they basically let the Tiger staff go. But he's one of the great Laker assistant coaches you will ever meet.
Right.
Just for people who don't know, go look him up. But continue.
Yeah. Because when I tell kids certain stuff, they be like, who? And I be like,
or the gentleman with the beard.
Right, but then once they go and they see this man, that's the same man with LeBron. I'm like, yeah, you see Bron, but you don't know, so, but to that point though, I think that event is so lovely because he brings Teaspoon in, he brings like Juju, Haley. They allowed to interact with the girls. They actually do workouts with them. But for the females, they have no ego, bro. They looking at you like, what next? That brick wall, I'm going. How to do this? Like they're very inquisitive and they do it. It's easy. It's transferable. You know what I'm saying? Because they really working on it. And I think what the game is where it's going right now, the way Caitlin did, the way Kim. Mookie, she's changed the game.
Yeah.
Shout out, that's a texture right there. If y'all didn't know, but I think it's in good hands, man. Like they really are. Man, this NIL situation.
Yes,
bro.
Yes.
Like you seen Flage?
Yes.
Shout out to Flage.
Yes.
Like,
shout out to her. Tell her brother stay in the stands, please.
Hey,
brother, stay in the stands. It's a bunch of women out there and a bunch of referees, but I promise you they're gonna solve the situation.
Man, you know where they from?
Jumping over the crossbar.
Hey, boy, you know where they from.
Yeah, I understand, man. I get it. But man, so it's SEC. They got enough security, man.
Right?
Let them people do their job. Well, he jumped over the barricade, bring it everything. Boy, what you doing?
Hey, that's his baby sister. Hey, don't you?
I get it. I understand.
Yeah. But man, I think it's like I say, for me, women they listen a lot more. Whereas a dude, he really know. Like if he comes in humble though, like you got some, I got some dogs right now I can't wait. Give 2 years, you gonna be like, we'll be back down here.
It's on.
It's on. Like what? Yeah, man. Shout out to Ahmad Hudson at Ruston, TJ Jameson. Yeah, it's some kids, man. Hey, they coming. They OBE too. Like you can't say you OBE unless you got character, integrity, team player. That's what OBE stands for. So when people say I am OBE, everybody can't be OBE. It's more than basketball. Like you said, you got to be an all-around player. You know, one of my guys I work with, Cam. He's out of, matter of fact, he's at LSU now. He played with Kansas State.
Okay.
Cam Carter.
Did he transfer there?
Yeah, he transferred to LSU. Yeah. So he just transferred there. But when I tell you a dog, his work ethic, man, he works with Rory too. Shout out Rory.
Yeah.
Shout out Smoke. He worked with great trainers. Like he doesn't, man, this kid, he's the type of kid, like, hey, we're going to make these 5 and we're going to be done. If he don't make 5 number net, no, coach, they hit the rim, bro. That was 4 and a rim shot. We good. Let's move to the next drill. That's meet me at the track at 5. 4:30, he there. That's
and but here's the thing. That's so different when you see a kid that committed, right? Because the truth be told is this, OB, and I'm just being real. In our era, we had a lot. We didn't have as many distractions these kids got.
Right.
See this thing here?
Yeah.
This thing here? My thing keep going off. Notifications. I'm a single man.
Right.
But see this thing here?
Right.
It's very distracting.
It is.
And it gets so much of their attention. Even me as a grown man, making 40 in August, gets my attention, right? We didn't have this 20 years ago, right? So these kids have got so many life distractions, right? That can just pull them away from the grind, pull them away from notifications, all these things that put them. But when you see kids show up and they early and they disciplined and they want to work, it's like, oh, he ready. And I'm just noticing that in the women's game, that when we're watching the game evolve and grow, I'm noticing that just from outside looking as an observer, they look like they're a better sponge.
They are. They definitely are. But I want to tell you this, though, because you do have a few kids. And so through my nonprofit, the Forever Young Foundation, I typically try to get kids out of the neighborhood to expose them to different experiences. And maybe a year ago, I want to say it's a year ago, like I said, I go out to LA and train with Phil and train under Phil. And so I met Chris Hines. He's Anthony Edwards' personal trainer.
Right.
And we just sitting down
coaches
running.
From Minnesota too.
Yeah, he coaches from Minnesota, man. Shout out to my dog, C. Hines, in the Western Conference Finals.
Shouts out.
But solid 100, man. We got the rapping for those 3-4 days we there. So I had some kids. I saved my money. Shout out to, we had a few sponsors that sponsored us, but I had them make sure they called in every Saturday. We did a Zoom call. We did mentoring. And what they did was, if you called in and you stayed consistent for 5 Saturdays I did, then I took a van, went up there and grabbed them from North Louisiana, brought them down here, got them in a hotel room, had Nikita Wilson. They don't know who he was. They didn't know he played for LSU before Shaq. And I had Rashawn Claiborne, Coach Smoke. I had him talk to him, had different people talk to him through in the community, like community leaders.
Right.
And we went down. We were running late due to traffic, but he was like, yeah, man, y'all can come down and shoot with me and you know. So I was like, look, we running late. We ain't gonna be able to. Can we do it after the game? Like, yeah, we'll get you to the locker room. Man, after the game, bro, talked to the kids, gave them a message. You know, like, they had just lost. Matter of fact, that was Zion. Zion had his career on them.
Right.
But he, just the fact that he would talk to them. So you do have some, like I said, I try to create the program in a nonprofit to help expose these kids to different experiences. So I do mentoring and we do give backs and stuff like that for the community to just show them, like, hey, we care. And like you say, put that phone down.
Put that phone down.
Let's be present. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the phone down.
enjoy. Like, let's be in the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, those phones, man, you get caught up in the matrix. And it's become a form of news to a lot of kids. They think that what they're watching and they're visualizing is the real world. And it's not. You're in the matrix, caught up. You know, they got you. And so you thinking that this is what's going on. And the people who making these videos are real, but it's not the real world. Right? And the world just passing you by. When you could have been spending your time working on getting better at your craft, working on your game,
right,
figuring out what you can do to get better. And number one, all of us now are gonna set some time away for this phone device. That's just who we are now.
Right.
But you got to set more time away to get to your achievements, your own achievements, your own goals, because no one's gonna work at that for you but you.
Facts. Facts.
That's not getting handed to you.
Facts.
And as the college game is starting to change, I mean, I listen. I talked to my guy, Coach Dave Johnson. He always pressed about getting $3.99. You know what I mean? Getting this college scholarship, working your behind off, getting this scholarship. And every kid looking like, oh, man, I could, man, listen. Get in where you fit in.
Man, hey, that's what I tell the kid when they be like, who are you? I'm like, I am OBE, right? And with OBE, I got a scholarship for every letter, O, B, and E. I got 3 scholarships. Then I had to get another scholarship. Like, I was fighting before the transfer portal. And out of that, 3 degrees came, 2 associates and 1 in business management with a minor in administration, right? So I'm like, I was able to use this one ball, travel the world, meet all these people, keep close relationships with them, and now they open doors for me that money can't buy.
The money can't buy.
You can't, like, money can't buy this. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And but a lot of kids, man, talk about those relationships, man, because I think a lot of kids need to understand that building relationships are critical. I don't think some of the doors, you know, that a lot of us are even open or to get to is without building relationships. I think a lot of kids miss that message. They think that their talent or whatever ability they have they think that's going to open up everything because everybody want them. And that's not how this stuff going to work, because eventually the ball stops dribbling.
It does. It does. And those relationships that you're talking about, man, that is the key. You know, of course, it's God first, hard work, and then the third one is relationships. You know, that's the new form of currency. Because
correct,
if somebody vouch for you or they tell, you know, they speak for you, like that's big.
That's big.
And I tell the kids every time you cross that black line, you don't know who watching who or who. Like, I like to be incognito. I don't want people to know exactly who I am and what I do, because I want to see the real person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I try to tell them you can ruin a relationship by a first impression. And a lot of the times behind those doors, when those coaches are talking, we having these coaches meeting and things like that, they get to asking about a kid and they go to the social media first. And when they got a social media page, the kid got a middle finger or no picture, and all they bumping is that NBA young boy. They got to think, like, do you want Gordon McKernan paying you some NIL money and this is what you do?
They don't think about how they gonna represent.
This what you do?
The represent the program.
The program.
How they gonna represent, you know, the school. How they gonna represent themselves. They see this, and so in their mind, we're caught up in a generation where a lot of youth believe that everything they do, while you're critiquing, while you're criticizing, and it's just supposed to be accepted. Well, that ain't how money works.
No, it don't.
Money just don't get accepted because you come into the block. I tell a lot of kids all the time, you was here before. What you mean? You in your situation. They've seen this already.
Right.
Already. There've been enough kids that's come through this situation. They've witnessed this and seen you. And I tell them all the time, they've seen your parents too.
Yeah.
They've seen them. They watched them.
And that,
they familiar with that too.
Man, the guy from Car, I want to say, man, he said something major. Man, like you say, a lot of the times the parents, man, if they see a parent and they know that a parent is gonna be
trouble,
and you know what, the coach from Nicholls State said it too.
Yeah.
It's a repeat. Everybody come on here that we saying the same thing. Tavion said it, like whenever they recruiting, they looking at the parents because the parent is gonna be a part of the program too. Is the parents
Absolutely.
gonna hold the child accountable? Because if you disrespecting your mama or your daddy, then when you come here, now I'm trying to correct that behavior. That's a problem.
It's a problem.
And with the way the system is, not a portal, it's hard on these high school kids now, man. Like, they better go. See, when I was in, I had a scholarship. I had verbally committed to Texas A&M, but I didn't know that they was waiting on AC Law.
I'm about to say AC Law with them. AC Law was coming.
So when AC signed, they were like, well, you can come, but you got a red shirt.
Yeah.
And see, I didn't know about red shirt for real. And,
Right.
you know, Paul, he was going to play this first year. Jay Jackson was going to Bobby Knight and playing at Texas Tech.
Yep.
I play with these dudes. I don't want to,
Fall behind.
you know. And so what happened was Panola was like, it was like, well, go to this. If you want to play, then we're going to send you to Coach Monarch. Like, play at Panola. And at that time, they was the highest leading scoring, you know, JUCO. But I got there, and at JUCO, it's 20 freshmen and 10 sophomores coming back. I'm like, bro, this a try. I'm not here. So I had to be humble. And again, I went to Grambling, then I went to Illinois. Shout out to Illinois. And I had some people up there from Arcadia that I played ball against. And one of his cousin was Marcus Pfizer. And so we used to go to Chicago and kick it with Pfizer and work out with him and be around and, you know, those type of things. So I got how to be professional and how to carry myself. You know, Kirk Heinrich was with the Bulls then, and, you know, the way he was.
From Kansas.
Yeah, he was real professional and stuff like that. But I also learned how to play my role because now I was recruited as a 2. But when I get to Illinois, they got these 2 guards, one with the Julian and one with the Simeon, and they trying to break the press and do all of this. And
D. Brown wasn't at the time, huh?
No, I played with D. Brown, little brother. But at Simeon and Julian, they like them big high schools up in Illinois. But I was just smart enough to know, like, I would get the ball and tell, hey, when I pass it here, you go here, you go here. I'm not about to dribble through this. I'm going to get it across half court, and then we're going to get in our play. But the coach was like, hey, you run the 1. Now, I'm coming down, Fred. I like to shoot that thing. I like the heat check.
Yeah.
I like to come off screens like Rip. That's who I was, you know what I'm saying? But I had to learn how to do that, and, you know, that changed my game, and I ain't fully accepted. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I had issues, but yeah, man, it's a lot of you kids, like I say, y'all worried about scoring. You just got to get there because the way this portal going now, bro. Yeah.
Listen,
just get in.
Get in. Because what's happening in the portal, a lot of kids don't understand. I'm gonna shoot y'all straight. This is how I do on the FanvVew podcast. I don't hold no punches. I just don't. The portal is not like high school. High school, in most cases, these guys have been recruiting you for 2 to 3 years. Calling your phone, contacting your parents, seeing how you coming, seeing how you doing. They probably got notified of you as a sophomore, junior year, senior. So you're talking about 2 years or 3 years of building relationships. That portal, you got a week or 2.
If that.
Because they start to fill rosters fast. So that same recruiting process that you was like, man, I'm him. You not him. They got a bunch of y'all in here. And once the dominoes start to fall, I'm here to tell you kids now, you don't want to be some of the last dominoes. Because a lot of kids, but they have not talked about, and I ain't afraid to say it, y'all are being left without scholarships. You was a scholarship kid. Now you're going somewhere where you're not on scholarship.
Right.
Now you got to walk on this team. There ain't no more scholarships available. They don't care about what you were ranked anymore. You in the portal, you a name, you come over here, you sign. I'm trying to get this out of money. They ain't about to be no money for y'all.
All right.
You better find a way to get the scholarship money.
Fair.
And because what's starting to happen is they're finding out on the fly. And when they find out, man, I was here, then I got in the portal. All right.
It's over.
It's over. Because you about to go somewhere now. I tell kids all the time, you need 3 things. You need skill, you need athletic ability, more important, you need to film.
Right.
Some of y'all have the skills, and some of y'all have the athletic ability, but you can't get on the court, right? So you need to find somewhere you get in the court because you need film.
All right.
You need film. And some of y'all got film, and you just don't have the skill. And some of y'all got the film, and some of y'all got the skill, but you don't have the athleticism. You need all three pieces.
Definitely, man.
And so you got to start putting these things together. And I think the kids are just not being. Listen, every kid has a reason for getting in the portal. And I ain't here to. I'm not the person to tell you why you here. I ain't gonna ever criticize or critique why you decide to go in the portal. Everyone has their reason. That's why it's available. Great to you, but you need to know how to work it. It don't work for everybody. Not the way it's intended.
With that being said, man, once we do the middle school combine, it's coming up in October the 4th through the 6th in Gonzales, Louisiana. Again, we bring in similar format to Chris Paul combine, but we talked about two subjects. We talked about the portal. We're going to educate them on the portal.
Mm-hmm.
We're also going to educate the parents of being a parent and holding them accountable. And the last thing that we're going to educate them on is, we just said it a while ago. I didn't want to cut you off, though.
No, go ahead.
But those we're going to have topics where you're going to have 15, 20 minutes of time, because those things are important, like you say, and they need to know that, right? They need to know how the etiquette of social market etiquette.
Yep.
Social media etiquette. That's what it's gonna be, bro. So we're gonna have those three things, and we're gonna give each kid a chance to experience that from somebody in that field of expertise, and just let them know what's real, because they don't understand. You could take 2 pictures, 3 pictures a month and get $5,000 by wearing a T-shirt.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And don't let you be, Flagey or your Angel Reese's. Now you really about to get a bag.
Correct.
Drive this Mercedes around and come and sign autographs on Saturday.
Correct. And this marketing company wrote you a check for God knows how much, because in their mind, you still keep ascending. These cards are gonna be worth God knows how much, right?
Exactly, man.
And so it goes hand in hand, but you gotta be able to understand what's going on. You don't need to know the full scope of what's going on, but you need to know how to present yourself in the market.
We got a class for that. We gonna have a class for that. That's what I'm saying. All of these things, you could learn this and know this from people that actually are in these rooms. And that's why I travel to LA. That's why I travel to Vegas. That's why I be around these people, because I want to be that person that I didn't have. You see what I'm saying? I want to be that person. Like when I got an agent friend, man, he calls me often, and he want to know who's the best kids in Louisiana, right? I'm his Louisiana rep.
Right.
And my thing is, I'm not putting my name behind you if, like you say, you got to have those things. Who are you comparable to? What do you do? Are your team winning? Because if your team, you can have all the points you want, but if your team not winning,
why are we focusing on this? I mean, you putting up 40, but the team losing by 20. What we doing here?
I'm scratching my head.
Yeah. like, it's one thing to lose, but are y'all getting beat? I mean,
Damn.
So it goes to, if I put my name on this, I want to make sure that this is credible.
Right.
Because having credibility matters.
It does. Everybody can't be OBE certified.
No.
People like, man, I want to say I am OBE. Bro, you can't get that. Like, everybody can't be OBE. Like,
that's not how that works.
Yeah.
And it's not because you're just talented. You could just be, no, you still got to, there's other criteria to meet to get here. Because people vouching for you. People putting their name behind you. So when something doesn't work out right, they're looking at me. They're looking at me. And it's not because of everyone makes mistakes. Situations happen. But, however, if this is consistent with you, then there's something that I didn't take into consideration. Something that I didn't know about you. And you can't do that. So a lot of times, it's a serious thing. I think a lot of times, the kids are getting better. But they still need to be educated and informed, because, like I say, these devices, getting them a hold of them. And again, they just get them to places where they could be more. I think kids today are more misled than
That's it. And that's why we do the nonprofit, the Forever Young, because I have faith in them. I have hope, and I know
Yes.
that they just need an opportunity to be exposed or talked to with respect. Because again, a lot of them, they don't have that, and that's why basketball for me, you know, it's like that pink medicine your mama used to give you, but it was sweet, but it was still good for you.
Right.
So I use that basketball. I know they like basketball, but once I get them on under my arm, Fred, I get to telling them what's real. Like, hey man, life gonna stop after this. And like you say, those relationships will get you jobs, to get you through these doors. Like, man, go back and watch that episode with Nickel State coach, man. That's boy, y'all got some fire though. Y'all got some fire. Like, anyone, just scroll down and click on one.
And click, man. If you see some of the guests that have come through the FanvVew podcast, whether it's football, basketball, I mean, we've had
what's the Boulevard dude? Shout out to
Brian,
the Boulevard.
Brad.
Yeah,
We've
Boulevard.
Brad. With Southeastern with Brad. I mean, we even had Chris Dunn with Louisiana Girls Rankings.
Yeah. Shout out to Chris.
Shout out to Chris.
Yes, indeed.
You know, so it goes like when you start seeing the episode, you're like, whoa, yeah.
And they telling their stories, man.
Stories.
Y'all, like I feel like you said, boy, I was about to lay back on this.
You gonna sit back, get a little comfortable, and say, okay, we fellowship today. I do want to get into a couple of things before we get ready to wrap. Before I get into OB phase,
okay,
we're gonna talk basketball. I want to talk pro basketball for a second. We're gonna be fans for a second. NBA, conference finals and finals are approaching. Who you got winning the chip?
Man,
we're gonna talk about.
All right, I'm gonna go. Man, it's tough, right? Cause I'm tied with everybody except for all right, I'll tell you this. I want Minnesota because I got my guy Chris over there. He personally works with Ant-Man. Then I want my guy Tatum.
Jason.
Shout out to Kip, shout out to Rap and Drew. Yep. Drew is his trainer, so that's our relationship.
Duke. I'm a huge Duke fan.
I want Kyrie because his sister, like I said, his people, he tied in with Phil, so we linked like that.
Right.
And then my daddy live in Dallas. I used to live in Dallas, so any one of them three, because we're gonna celebrate. That's what I want to say. But if I had to just choose,
so Indiana's out.
Yeah, I don't know nobody from India. I don't know nobody from India. Well, like I say, Drew trains Halliburton too.
Right.
But I don't know. Like, I'm more close to the Jason and all of them.
Right.
So I would.
Halliburton has put on a showcase for himself, and like he's made himself a star in all of this.
He has peak. He
has made himself a star this postseason run. This season run, really, because I know people knew about him when he got traded from Sacramento, but it just took some time for Indiana to put some things
the right
together.
team. Yeah, that matters. Your situation matters.
Your situation matters.
For
he
real.
wasn't gonna become the player that we're watching from him in Sacramento. He needed this situation, and he got his situation being traded to Indiana, and I think that it's all good for them. But I tell people all the time, I also look at this business as a business first. Indiana can't make it. I'm gonna shoot y'all straight.
But Larry pocket's kind of long too. But Larry, Larry wanted to be like that.
I get it. However, the thing is this, and this is
they won the play, didn't they win Vegas?
Like come on now. Listen, man. Let's just keep it 1,000,
man.
At some point in time, are the viewership's going to really watch your finals and Indiana's in it?
Right. I agree.
And I think that's the hard part. I think if you leave it up to basketball.
What about the betting though? This betting thing real now. Like if the house chooses.
Yes. Like sports betting is a legalized thing in the majority of states. And there's a lot of money being wagered.
All right.
A lot of money being wagered. So I find it tough for the audience to watch. I find people who want to put money on it if Indiana was to make the finals. Now, since we're going to move them to the side.
Oh, yeah. Indiana slide over.
That means Boston makes it.
Okay.
I am going to say the Minnesota Timberwolves make the finals. This is me. Watch me watching the game. Me watching the game.
Okay.
I'm like, I love watching me some Kyrie Irving. I love Luka Doncic. But once I get past those two.
You don't like PJ?
Here's the problem.
You don't like PJ?
I like PJ. I like what
Okay.
PJ contributes to the Dallas Mavericks.
All right.
The issue I have with PJ is that PJ, if I slow down one of those two guys,
Mm-hmm.
PJ can't pick it up.
Yeah.
There's a level of limit with the bigs that he's facing.
Mm-hmm.
He's facing against Gobert, Reed, and Cat. So, could I expect him to do something against another group? Yeah. Against this group? No.
Yeah.
So it just
They are long.
they long.
Minnesota.
They long. And so, and then they still got slow-mo who could get you some minutes. So I find it hard for Dallas to get, if Luka and Kyrie can't average 30, I find it hard for Dallas to get out of this series. I find it hard to just beat them. So I have Minnesota and Boston.
It could go, I think it can go both ways because, like you say, that Luka got to average his 30, Kai got to get his. But the thing is, like, Ant, I watched him the first game, and I'm like, man, I hope he catches breath because him trying to stop Kai from getting his 30 is not allowing him to
do him.
Yeah, and that's taken away because they feed, like you just got through saying, a block shot, that's a momentum. They feed off of that momentum.
Correct.
They like him to dunk and yeah. But he holding Kai.
No, you can't do that. You can't hold Kai. Oh, no.
Kai got him working out there.
No. Listen,
So-
Kyrie Irving is one of the most skillful basketball players I've ever seen. Turn to pure skill.
You know who his godfather is, huh?
No.
Rod
Strickland?
Strickland.
Listen,
Yeah, that's why he's a New York point guard. Like,
yeah. He played.
New York
It's
point
all making
guard,
sense
bro.
now. It's all making sense now.
Yeah, Kyrie daddy was tough.
Listen, Kai, the way he plays, I'm like, I'm gonna go up. No, you're not, dog. No, you're not, dog. Listen, if you can't defend this way, he gonna bring you this way. This is how you want it. Or I can't. I'm gonna go. So this is how you want it. It don't matter. He's one of the most skillful guys I've seen. The problem is that the Mavericks had a better big. I like Lively. I like the center that comes off the bench for them. I think it starts with a G. It can dude's name tip my tongue. Gaffr. I can't even pronounce his name. And they got PJ. And obviously Derrick Jones has come on as a better defender.
Yeah.
Like he's a real athletic basketball player. And I think he got recognized.
Still got them hops.
Yeah, he's still super athletic. And he was recognized as the dunker, but he's starting to shape into a position. He's starting to finally become a true wing, being able to defend, being able to run the flow. He's not gonna really be a shooter. I'm not gonna say he can't score, but he's not gonna really be a shooter in this league. That's just not his skill set.
Yeah.
But he's starting to find a skill that can be developed in a role.
Right.
I just find it tough to beat Minnesota. So I got Boston in Minnesota.
So Boston and Minnesota. Now who you got out of that? Let's go. Who you got? Cause I got both ways. I got it. Who you got?
The X factor is Drew Holiday.
Let's talk about it. Cause New Orleans shouldn't have never let him go.
Those are the facts.
I want him.
But the problem was, and the reason why I respect why New Orleans had to let him go, because he was, sometimes you pair with people, and he was paired with AD. And when AD had to leave, Drew was still here, but the team was going in a different direction. You're about to draft Zion. They got some acquisitions from the Lakers. You know, BI, they had Lonzo coming in, part of that deal with AD.
Right.
So the team was just getting completely younger.
Yeah.
So I didn't like moving on from Drew Holiday because I love what Drew Holiday gave me as a player. But that you had to let him go because the team was just going in the youthful direction. And he was a veteran.
Shout out to my dog Herb too. Hey, that boy, hey, he
was snubbed from potentially defensive player of the year.
Lock up.
He was snubbed. First of all, he should have been a nominee. That's my prop.
Yeah.
Should have been a nominee.
Right.
Rudy Gobert shouldn't have won it. There's no here, no there.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert is a 4-time defensive player of the year. And I'm like saying to myself, I'm scratching my head like, how and why?
Yeah.
I think he's a heck of a defensive player, but 4-time defensive player of the year, scratching my head. I'm like, I seen Dwight Howard, I seen Tim Duncan. What we doing here? But it's one of those things. So if Porzingis comes back and he could play to any level that he was playing prior to the injury, I got Boston winning.
No, bro. He coming back to some fire. Like he coming back. And then again, I love JT. No, again, I like Jalen, JB. I remember him when I was living in Atlanta. To get to his high school games, it used to be so ridiculous. But I just feel like they might because they had been so close, but they've never just showed up. You don't know who you're going to get. Whereas if Minnesota gets there, I think they'll be more hungry and their length and size. It's going to be good.
It's going to be good.
I'm going to say that. It'll be good.
I think this is the first time that Boston getting to, whether it's this is the first time for me at least. Well, last year was the first time, at least in the conference finals, that they were the favorite, but they lost to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
If they get to the finals this year, they'll be the favorite. They wouldn't have favored to play Golden State.
Yeah.
Steph Curry has something to prove to the world, and he proved it.
To the world, Craig.
To the world, Craig. To the world, Craig. He has something to prove, and he
to the
proved
world,
it.
Craig.
He proved it. He proved the fact that you can't win without KD. Boy, what?
All right, that was a Kobe in him. I'm gonna show y'all.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn today.
Yeah. All right. That put him to sleep.
Right.
But to me, I think that loss has taught Boston if they get back to that moment, they gotta get it.
Yeah.
They gotta have an edge and they gotta find a way. I think Minnesota's new to the party.
Yeah.
And Minnesota is like they're the new kids on the block. I'm not saying they can't win it. They got the best 8 to me. You look at who's gonna play.
They have the best. They're interchangeable.
Yeah,
you can go and not. You ain't missing a step. In fact, you might add.
You might be add.
Right.
But they got the best 8. But having the best 8 with a coach who probably haven't coached in these games, and you got a group who's been in these moments, and they want to win because they've been criticized enough, and that's enough for them to be like,
right, to go ahead and get it.
It's an edge.
Well, I tell you this, because they say if wolves taste blood, so if the wolves taste a little blood, I'm too close, so you better knock me out. So Boston, if they get home court, they better. Boston.
The only thing I noticed about Boston that I don't like, and we gotta get ready to wrap up, I don't like about the Celtics is they have been prone throughout these playoffs to not maximize home court. If they face the Timberwolves, that ain't the team to play that with.
All right.
That's not, you can't do that to them.
Right.
They showed they beat the defending champ. They punched Denver in the mouth. Game 1 and game 2, letting everybody, they put the whole league on notice.
All right.
We ain't here to play with y'all. Now, I know they lost game 1 against Dallas, but I still don't think Dallas can win. But if they go out there and they make it to the finals and they face Boston and Boston go down there 2-0, or it's over. Or they dead. Or they gonna recover
that blood.
Oh no, you're not beating them, dog.
Yeah.
No, this is not gonna be one of those backhand sweeps that we gonna go down 2-0 and we gonna go out there. No, you're not.
Right.
No, because then people only lost 1 road game this whole playoffs. 1.
Yeah.
1. And so I look at that and I say to myself, they tough. They got the best 8, but are they ready for the moment? I know Boston, if they make it, which I believe they will, has an edge. They got something to prove because of the organization they're on.
Mm-hmm.
They're the Celtics.
Yeah.
Second place don't count with them.
Right. That ain't a banner.
No, that ain't a banner, dog.
That's
Eastern Conference champ. They don't hang that, dog.
Right.
They don't hang that. They don't hang that. That's not going up in TD Garden, dog. That is not the standard. Anywhere else in all basketball, in the NBA, you can hang up conference championships. There's 2 organizations that's not hanging up a conference championship. That's the Los Angeles Lakers and that's the Boston Celtics. Everyone else can hang one up.
Right.
Them 2, not happening. So I think that if Boston makes it, they want that monkey
off their back.
Yeah, but I think to their credit, if they want to face a team that really do it, I think they should be facing Dallas. They face the Timberwolves. They got a real problem. They do not have the best 8. Even with Kristaps Porzingis, they don't have the best 8. And that's a problem.
I'm going to be texting you, my guy.
Send messages. Send messages. Because I got a lot of group chats going.
Right.
Well, listen. Getting ready to wrap up. We're going to talk about OB's faves. Okay? Favorite basketball player of all time, regardless of what level.
Man, I mean, favorite players, like I said, I just had 2. Those are the 2 I was telling you, JC and Rod Strickland. So, I mean, of course, everybody liked Jordan, but it was just like, bro.
Rod Strickland
Right,
dancing with that ball.
Nice.
Was dancing with that ball.
He's a wizard. Like, he's nice.
Was dancing with that ball.
And that's how I knew I was different. Like, yeah, Jordan cool, but can you handle like this?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Rod put something on Jordan too, like a few times, but that's neither here nor there. So, yeah, I would go with Rod Strickland and then JC.
Okay. Favorite movie of all time?
Harlem Nights.
Eddie Murphy.
Hey, that's classic, bro. Yes. Hey, bro, how you get all of those superstars in that one movie? Richard Pryor, Della Reese, Fox. Like, come on, man. Charlie Murphy, Eddie Murphy. All of them in that thing, bro.
Yes.
I love it. And then it had the blacks in the looking elegant. You know what I'm saying? They was sharp. Like, it was, so yeah. Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights. Favorite pair of sneakers.
Oh man, I'm telling my age, but you should know about this though. 95 Air Max. Boy classic.
Yeah.
I got Air Max. I love them, bro. Like, I was about to wear them today, but I was like, man, let me get comfortable. I got you. But I have my 95s on most of the time. But I'm like, I love 95.
Okay. We get somewhere. All right. We got this thing going right now. Favorite comedian of all time.
Favorite comedian? All right, I'm going to tell y'all why. Some might not like it, but I'm going to stand with my guy. Carlos Miller, I know him personally.
Okay.
When I was living in Atlanta and I was working, shout out to Dino, shout out to the Metro Boys, all the ATL, but I was working for him. I was his personal assistant, and Carlos used to open up the club, and he's from Mississippi.
Okay.
And we would talk. And he's like, how we talking? I can't just sit and talk with Carlos like this, bro.
Right.
My ribs and my head. Bro, I've never, and then I seen how he's on stage and just maneuver like before the 85 South, before all of that, bro. So I've seen him in person and to becoming the person that y'all know. So I was telling people about him. They're like, y'all watch when he was on hell dates and stuff like that. Like, so Carlos, bro.
Carlos, okay.
Yes, indeed.
Favorite coach of all time, regardless to what level.
Okay.
The favorite coach that you know, whether they coached you or not, your favorite coach of all time.
Rest up, Coach Hartwell. That's the coach I was telling you about when I was going into my 9th grade year, and he started teaching me about the psychology of the game and to learn the game and how to make the game easier. And from different aspects, he was able to push me, and I didn't even know I was pushed. So when I did face Jay, I was ready because I wanted to go back and say, yeah, Jay, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I wanted. So I try to be that coach. Like, that's it. 3 steals, that's all you can get. They just going to the right every time. I like that psychology. Right. That's who I am. That's what I do.
Gotcha. Toughest player you ever played against?
Man. Shout out to Hood. I'm gonna get that to Antonio Hudson, man. I was a freshman and he was a senior, and you know, I got my little time in. You know, I get that 2 minutes before halftime and that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was laughing at me as I came through the screens, and he like, what? Like, he talking to me, hey, bro, you better get off me. Like, he working me as he talking. Like, man, I'm about to do 2 dribbles to the right, and I'm going to pull up, man. And I'm, what? And he up fake me, 1, 2, off the glass. Boy, you better go play somewhere. This dude, he really was like that.
Greasy.
Hey, but he really was like that, man. Hood.
Right.
And you should see his son right now.
Oh, my God. Like that.
Bro, and in football, too, Rustin just won a championship.
Yeah.
He was the wide-eye. Snagging, mousing people. Yeah. So, yeah, Hudson was that one because I could never get, you know, I couldn't get the best of him. So, Hud.
Okay. Favorite place to visit?
Favorite place to visit in state or anywhere?
Anywhere.
Okay. Well,
we could do both.
All right. So if the favorite place
to
visit, Atlanta, that's my second home. Shout out to the A. Shout out to Effect Fitness, Dooley, ATL.
Shout out to Alpharetta.
Yeah. Oh, you in Alpharetta?
I got company.
Okay.
I'm a single man.
Well, that's what's up. Man. So yeah, I'm about to take it to Atlanta. So that's the favorite in as far as the state side, but the Bahamas, Nassau.
Gotcha.
When I was in college, my college roommate, he from the Bahamas, so he put me on conch. My god sister had me out there. When I got married, me and my wife went out there. Like, I get some bread, I'm gonna be in the Bahamas.
In the Bahamas. All right.
Bahamas.
Last question. If OB was not training basketball, what would he be doing?
Oh, man.
If you wasn't involved in basketball at all, what would you be doing?
Man, I would be doing what I'm doing now with the nonprofit, man. Just trying to make communities better, trying to educate and expose kids to different environments. Because I do believe if you could see it, you could be.
Believe it.
You know what I'm saying? So dream, believe, pursue. That's the slogan for the Forever Young Foundation. And that's what I'm going to be doing, Forever Young.
There it is. Y'all already know what it is. Listen, that's the FanvVew podcast. Listen, get subscribed, like, comment, tell a friend, share a friend. Again, it's FanvVew podcast if you're on YouTube. It's FanvVew podcast if you on TikTok. It's FanvVew podcast if you're on Facebook. It's FanvVew podcast if you're on IG. And it's FanvVew podcast on X. And Obi, tell everybody where they can find you at.
Hey, check this out, man. You can get the behind-the-scenes footage, too. I'm going to just let y'all know, but go to Only Basketball Elite on YouTube. Follow on IG, only_Basketball Elite. On Facebook, Only Basketball Elite. That's it, man. And make sure the 2024 Louisiana Middle School Combine is in Gonzales. Man, make sure you nominate. If your cousin good, if he that 6th grader, 7th grader, 8th grader that everybody talking about and it's invite only. But so go ahead and nominate now. Coaches, if you want to come and train, man, I want the best out of the best. This is the All-American game for the junior high kids. This is what we're gonna do for the junior high. So, man, make sure y'all subscribe though to Only Basketball Elite though.
There it is. Listen, it's the FanvVew podcast, and we signing out. You dig?
Step Construction is here for you with a brand new offer. We now provide affordable storage sheds. Stop wasting your money on overpriced storage units and portable containers. Step Construction can provide you with a custom shed that will fit your budget and storage needs. So contact Step Construction today at 504-340-5809 for your own personal quote. Let us help you take the next step at Step Construction.
It's DatBoyFred, host of FanView podcast. Tune into the NOTN app, weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.